Hey there, it is day 3 of my Autism Inspiration series for the month of April. I'm Colleen Arrington. I have a child with autism. He's now 13 and was diagnosed a little before age 4. A lot of my videos have to do with the Sunrise program. Today's video is definitely, I'm going to talk about joining. So joining is a big concept in the Sunrise program, and it is really done to help several things. So joining is when we take a look at our child's behaviors and we notice they are being exclusive and repetitive. A lot of times our children on the spectrum do any number of things that are exclusive, sort of in their own world, in their own experience. They're not engaging with everyone around them. And they are repetitive. So they might be saying the same thing, they might be doing the same thing, whether they're verbal or nonverbal. They're doing the same thing repetitively, the same action, the same wording over and over. So those are called isms in the Sunrise program. They might be called stims in other behavioral settings or treatments. And in the Sunrise program, we really think about not judging those behaviors as good or bad. They just are what they are. So I'm not talking about aggressive behavior here, or in a public situation where your child's doing something that can be dangerous or disruptive, like in a classroom setting or something like that. I'm talking about in the home experience when you're at home playing with your child and they're doing a repetitive or ism type behavior. So I am answering questions for several people that I asked, and one of the questions was about joining. One, it was, do you feel joining him or mirroring is the most important part of the program? And could you still build a relationship without joining? And the other question is, what about when your child doesn't want you to join? And she asks about, want me to mimic her. So if she's reading to herself and I want to join by reading beside her with another book, she would be mad and yell at me to ask me to stop reading, or doing something similar to what she's doing. Okay, so several things. How to join is to, first of all, have the mindset and the belief that that behavior is what the child needs to be doing right then. It's not that it's a bad thing or that it's something that we want to stop. It's a way to help them understand what's going on for them and help us to learn from them and show our love and acceptance to them. So if my child, let's see, I didn't get some props here, but if my child likes to line things up, they might have cars. This is something my son did repetitively, very much so, lining up little train cars over and over in a very particular way. So lining them up, these are little like coasters, but lining them up in a row, laying down next to it, getting right up to it, looking at it, lining it up with his vision, and doing that over and over. I'm talking like a long time and many, many times. So we would then get our own thing. Sometimes he would be so controlling that he would not want us to use his cars. So maybe we would go get something like this, something totally unrelated to what he's doing. And I would get down on the floor. But the one thing to keep in mind is give some space. So he may be over here in one corner part of the room. I'm going to give him maybe 6 feet. Give him some space and enjoy doing the same activity. But that's the key to it. Really enjoy doing it. Find what it is about lining those things up that maybe he or she is into. Find what it is about that sound that they're making that you join in and make with them that they enjoy or like about it. Maybe you really have never tried that activity before. And so maybe you can see like, oh, I get that there is something that sounds interesting, or it sounds like I can tune everything else out around me. Or when I'm lining things up in that way and looking at it, I can see something particular on there that I've never seen before. So for Gavin, when we would do that, we would really look at the wheels of the train. And if you notice the little Thomas the Train Engine, they have a mirror sort of on the wheel, like the hubcap type. I sometimes think he was looking at that and could see himself or see some type of reflection in there. So he would be, looking at that over and over and watching that. He wasn't doing it for no reason. There was some reason to that. So what I would do is encourage you to try to, 1, give space for your child if you're joining in. Number 2, don't judge it as something bad. Like, oh, geez, how many times am I going to have to do this? How many times am I going to have to read this dang book over and over? I mean, if you do that, it's not bad. You are not bad because you're doing that. But if you really want to see the benefit of joining, you have to be in that attitude where you're not judging it. And so it would take me a lot of work sometimes to be in that space, but I would recognize it, try not to judge it, and then try to join back in and really do what Gavin was doing. So it helps you to understand them. It helps you to also show your love and acceptance to them. Like, hey, what you do, yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And to really get into that activity with them. A lot of times they'll finally see you doing what they're doing and enjoying it, and almost stop and be like, they get it. They get me too. And then it starts to build into some more of that eye contact, some more of that celebration of what they're doing. Maybe they will come over and see what you're doing. A lot of the times, eventually, Gavin would come over and come near me and check out what I was doing, or comment on what I was doing, or correct or change what I was doing. That's okay too. It's all right if he's going to do it in a different way, or he wants me to do it in a different way. In that setting, in that circumstance, he was in control. It was okay. So I think that it, 1, shows them our love and respect. It helps us to learn about maybe why they're doing what they're doing and understand it in a new way. Now, the question comes in, what happens if they stop us from doing it, or if they don't like when we're joining them? 1 is to think about if you're getting too close into their space. Maybe back up and give more space in between you. Secondly, is if they're really needing to be in control in that moment and they're in the safe playroom experiences, is not when they're out and about with you going places and you need to say, no, we need to leave the grocery store right now. I'm talking about in the playroom, in the home setting, when you're having special time with your child. So if they are needing to be in control in that moment and they are asking you to stop, I would stop. One thing that we would do, because Gavin did want to control those times when we were doing that and did not want us to use his Legos or his toys or his cars, anything in some of those circumstances. So we would get something totally different, not one of his preferred toys or things, and use that. And sometimes that would be fine with enough space and a totally different object or thing that we would do our thing, but we would still line it up in the same way, or still get down on the floor and look at it in that way. And sometimes that was fine for him, and we could kind of move through together and go on from there. Or I would just sit. And if it was in those times that he would really need me to just sit and not do what he was doing, I would say, okay, thanks for letting me know that you didn't want me to do that right now. I'm just going to relax right here and just enjoy watching him. The other thing during joining is you're not wanting to stare and wait and just, is he looking? Is he looking? Is he looking? Is he changing? Is he liking this? Is he not? Just get into the activity and really be about that activity. That's important too. Yeah, you want to be checking on them. You want to be seeing what they're reacting to or not reacting to. But it's not about like staring minute by minute, second by second to see what their response is. I hope that answered some of those questions that came up. Joining is such a different aspect of the Sunrise program. It's different than other programs. A lot of times they'll do play with their motivation, but they're also interrupting that. Joining is not about interrupting or wanting to stop our child's activity. It's truly about joining in with them, loving what they're doing, enjoying getting to know them better, getting to know why they might be doing that activity or saying those repetitive things, and showing that we truly do accept them as they are. And it really opens that relationship up. It may take many, many, many times or many hours of joining and doing that, but it has helped us tremendously to bridge that relationship and grow into so many more other advanced interactions with our son. Hope that's helpful. Please ask questions anytime. I'll check in the comments here if you have questions, or message me anytime. Thanks so much and have a great day.